Today we are at the Silicon Valley Capital Club, and I'm with Gordon Lim, who's one of my best friends for how many years now? It's like 7 years.
7 or 8 years, something like that.
But he's also the project manager and helping build out the agency Invested Creators. And today we're just having fun. I'm shooting a podcast asking other entrepreneurs what their secrets are in business. And hopefully it also works as an awesome lead magnet. So the best way is just to give until they ask. With that, we have our first guest. What is your name and how can people find you?
Yeah, my name's Christina Cortess, and I have a business called Christina Alita Social Media.
So the question that you want to answer is, so what is one skill or strategy that has the biggest impact on your success?
Number one, just don't give up. And it's really cliche, but my success or moving through multiple businesses, I think a lot of people see these big flashy things and they go, wow, you're so successful. But to me, the reason that I'm here today is because I never gave up. You could say that I've failed another business, that I've failed at jobs, but I never stopped. And you have to be curious. You have to be willing to learn things that you don't know anything about if you're in business. So that's what I would say.
Do you have a quote or affirmation that you use to help push you through that block moment?
Yeah, I actually have them. I keep them on my lock screen. This one is, my energy is too precious to waste on stress, anxiety, and overthinking. I have a lot of them.
So if you go through your lock screen, it's just different affirmations.
I'm like, okay, I'm over this one. Put a new one.
I love it.
But yeah, I would say, oh, and my success is inevitable.
Okay.
That keeps me going.
I love it. What is your name and how can people find you?
My name is Gordon Lim. I definitely think of something you told me recently is the who, not how. 'Cause it used to be, when you first start off, you're very much like, okay, what can I do? It's just me. How can I figure it out? And then as you start getting better, you're like, okay, I could spend 10 hours editing this video and it would cost me whatever I would charge. So let's say it's like 150 for the hour, right? If I'm doing it for the client, I'm spending 10 hours away from my family, away from my business, away from getting new clients. Or I can just send it to somebody else to edit and pay them maybe like $50 an hour, $75 an hour. And that for me, like, just changed my mind because I also trust a little bit more. So I can trust them to take on that job. It's like, okay, do I like your work? Does it reflect well on my work? Yes. Or do they take direction well? And if they do, then great. Then I can go ahead and just, hey, this looks bad, fix this, add this instead. I want this fixed. Can you get it done? And what's great about having one that's like on the other side of the world is like I go to sleep, I wake up, and the video's done.
Yeah.
And like that 10 hours was spent, but I was sleeping, that's so great. And then now I'm just trying to think about who else can I get to get me to do this? Like, can I get someone to film for me? Like, teach them how, put them under my wing, give them the skill set. They help me out. They learn new skill. They can do their own business or whatever in the future, or they grow with me. And then I know I don't have to. Now I'm just like project managing or working and just like working on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
So definitely who, not how.
I love it, man. Yeah, if you can do 10 projects and have it 80% the way that you want it, but it took you the same amount of time that it would take you to do one, like that next unlock is crazy.
And it's so good. Like, because the clients are like, oh my God, this is great. Like, thank you for getting me so fast. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Wasn't me, it was my team.
Yeah.
So definitely game changer.
My name is Nicole Lecheler, and I am the Director of Membership at the Silicon Valley Capital Club.
And how can people find you?
They can find me on the website, svcapitalclub.com, or on LinkedIn, Nicole Lecheler.
Okay, and so your team is hosting this wonderful event tonight.
Yes, we are.
And so we're excited. And so the question that you picked, you get 2 questions.
Awesome.
All right, so the first one is, what one skill or strategy has had the biggest impact on your success?
I would say versatility. Taking day by day, being flexible and coming with the punches as they come, and not being afraid to jump in and help out where needed. And you learn a whole bunch of skills along the way by doing that. And it gives you some flexibility and versatility where your managers can count on you.
Okay, that is a very good skill.
Yeah.
My name is Jamie.
And what do you do, Jamie?
I am a functional nutritionist and wellness coach. So I help people take care of their bodies.
I love it. I used to own a CrossFit gym.
Oh, I can tell. You're filling out the jacket.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
That, or maybe I had too many potatoes. And so what one skill or strategy has had the biggest impact on your success?
So I define success as being able to connect with people. I was a teacher. I was a produce company, and now I'm a health coach. So I need to be able to connect with people. So my ability to get to know someone and open up has been my biggest benefit.
Okay. Welcome to your first podcast.
I'm Jamie Orednac. I am the owner of My OHR. We are an outsourced HR department for our clients.
That's right. You spoke at an event at the Business Forward Council?
Yes, I do a lot of
Okay.
speaking events on business topics and employee relations, so harassment prevention training, employee handbooks, that kind of thing.
Okay, so the really important stuff.
Yes, yeah, it is pretty important.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so the question I have for you today is, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
So this is actually from a book that I read, and it's to approach business and your business relationships with an attitude of abundance. There's plenty to go around, and the more that you give, referrals, business opportunities, entry-level positions for people who are entering the workforce, the more that there is available to everyone.
I love it. That is a mindset that I try and have all the time too. So real quick, what is your name and what do you do?
Thomas Alpers, and I'm the owner of Marketing Inventors.
Love it. What one skill or strategy has had the biggest impact on your success?
The one skill I would say is sales, and going out there and grabbing your businesses, going out there, accepting the word no, going out there, asking the businesses what they need help with, and then hopefully providing a service. So I say the best skill I've learned is being able to do sales and going out there and accepting the word no from multiple businesses until you get closer to that next big yes.
Okay, I got a follow-up question.
Yes.
What was the hardest sales job you've ever had?
The hardest sales job, my own. So I started my marketing agency, and number one was going out there and getting places to market for. So I had to go out there myself and learn how to get them myself. So I did sales and marketing at one point. So that was the hardest.
Love it.
Yeah.
I like my first official sales job was door-to-door radio ad sales.
Oh, yeah. So I've done door-to-door. I think I've done door-to-door for Wi-Fi. So.
Okay. So you've got enough doors slammed in your faces.
Yeah. Always, I always like to tell people, when you go somewhere or you're trying to sell something, you're going to hear no matter what.
Yeah.
You're always going to hear a no. That's a for sure.
Yeah.
But just them hearing no and continuing to go out there and try to get the business, you're going to get closer to that yes. So the more no's you hear, you're close to that big yes, I promise you.
Love it. Yeah. Everyone's got to get into sales.
Everyone's got to get into sales.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Rafael Martinez. I'm born and raised here, San Jose, California, and I'm currently in construction field. I'm in construction, getting my licenses, and me and my brother have a general contracting business.
What is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I ever received, I usually have an issue with sometimes, it's like losing momentum. I heard this from Mr. Andy Frisella. So what he meant by is, so say you're closing deals, you're making business, you're going out, just talking to clients, networking, and you start to build momentum. And as soon as you have a good payout, you think it's time to celebrate. When in reality, instead of losing that momentum and going on vacation, because you're going to lose everything you just worked for, you're going to start from zero, start from scratch all over again. So I think that was my issue. Because after a big win, I would want to celebrate. So that right there on its own, never lose momentum and just keep continuing going hard after hard. So
what's the one tactical thing that you do to make sure that you can keep going?
One more. Do one more.
You're always on the next one.
One more of everything. If it's one more workout, one more cup of water, one more person, one more client, one more call, one more email, just one more. And that's by In My Lit. So shout out to In My Lit too, because it's good.
My wife is also in sales, and she actually has that on her whiteboard right next to her desk.
One more?
Do one more, yeah. Love it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Marlon Hines, and I am a business owner in twofold. So basically, I record music professionally, but my other business, my day-to-day 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, if you will, is insurance. And so I run my own consultancy firm through the guise of insurance, and it's called Hindsight Consulting. Yep.
Okay, so the question I have for you today is, what one skill or strategy has had the biggest impact on your success?
It's being having authentic character and building relationships. And I know that could sound cliche, but when you're as passionate about it as I am, then it works for you, right? And so I have a ton of partners through my business that help me and I help them. And what better way to gain wealth than to spread some around?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. I mean, authenticity is one of those soft skills that's unmeasurable.
That's right.
And it's that it factor. You either it's there or it's not.
That's
and
right.
the moment someone has it, you're like, I know it.
I feel like that's what I was telling you. When I saw you earlier and I didn't know you, I could tell that you had that trait that you're speaking to right now.
Well,
So,
thank you.
yeah,
I appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then there's one more bonus question.
Bonus, huh?
As we were talking about earlier,
Okay.
is what has been one significant life change that has happened, and how did you overcome that?
You know what? That's an amazing question. You picked the right person to give you some nuance, if you will, because everybody's life, once you get to a certain age, you think it's going to be this way or that way. For me, I've made it here to this point in life through inspiration of my 3 children, who I'm raising by myself, because back in 2020, I lost my wife to COVID. Couldn't see it coming, but it happened, and we had a choice to make. And I'm not the type of personality to be stuck under the thumb of depression, so I decided that we're going to live our lives to the fullest and do the best that we can and love each other. And as a result, we're experiencing some great success, and they're a big-time inspiration to me.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad to hear, though, that now, a few years later, you guys are thriving. And it seems like your family's off to doing some great things in the future.
You know what? I appreciate that. That's a word that I use when people ask me how I'm doing, especially the ones who are genuinely concerned. I use the word thriving, and not to sound like a Kaiser commercial. But yes, we definitely are. I appreciate that, man.
All right, man. Let's go thrive, huh? What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Quentin Queenman, and I run my own mobile application service.
What does the app do?
So the app helps individuals get qualified faster for their careers.
Interesting.
Exactly. We're trying to slow down those wait times, those times that if you're on hard times and you can't get a career as fast enough, we want to be those providers for you.
So you're almost like expediting like those same staffing agency surveys.
Exactly,
Dude,
yes.
that's smart.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Okay, so the question I have for you is, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
So the best business advice that I've ever received is patience. Have to be patient. And the best quote I've ever received, I'm going to throw in a little bonus one here for you, is it's from Eric Thomas, and he said, "Don't go where the path may lead, but follow your own path and make a trail."
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How have you implemented that into your business?
So I'm originally from Florida.
Yeah.
So I've been through multiple, all over the state, and I've actually moved here from California about a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And it's helped me kind of just take risks.
Yeah.
And I also think that's also great advice as well. In my hometown, not everybody is a risk taker.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to get out there and do something for themselves.
Yeah.
So in a business, you have to be able to take risks.
Yeah.
Especially starting a business, it's scary. It's daunting.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know where your money's going to go. You don't know if you're going to be able to feed your family the next month.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to jump at the opportunity, especially when it arises. So get out and take risks,
Heck
Don't be afraid. And when I moved out here, with just a backpack and a dream, sometimes you just have to do it.
I mean, you got to knock on like 1,000 doors before you even get your first sale.
Exactly. Right.
How many doors did you knock on before you got your first sale?
Let's see. 1,000. I knocked a lot of doors before I got my opportunity. And when you hear the word no, it does hurt.
It does, but it gets easier, and it gets you one step closer to that yes eventually.
Yes, sir.
Quinn, thanks so much for joining me. What is your names, and what do you both do?
So first, my name is Anne, and we are both in finance.
Anne, and what was your name?
Mark. Sorry.
Mark.
So I'm also with Anne.
Okay.
So we have this campaign. You can see it here, camera.
Financial literacy.
Yes. 50 by 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are campaigning. We want to basically educate 50 million families by 2050.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means you better do it on social media.
We're very excited to be, promoting financial literacy. To not just to strangers, but to the close, the people we love.
Yeah.
Families and friends. Yeah.
It is the thing that no one wants to talk about.
Exactly. This
That
is the
everybody
uncomfortable.
needs.
Right.
That's the hook. When I'm editing this, this is my because I like that. Okay, this is fun. Okay. All right. So, what is my question for you? Is what is the one skill or strategy that has had the biggest impact on your success?
I think with the both of us, it's building relationship.
Yes.
Building relationship, like one of the key aspects are like being empathy.
Yeah.
To have an empathy. To have that, it's basically you can understand
What their needs are.
what their needs are.
Yeah.
You can seek what they need of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which goes back to like finances, like people, are scared of talking about their finances.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised that they don't have, enough, especially for retirement.
Of course.
and especially coming from a Filipino background,
Yeah.
our families are very uncomfortable of talking about finances.
I know.
Are you Filipino?
I am Filipino.
Oh, there you go. Well,
Yay!
Mabuhay.
yes. So that's what we do.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Oh.
you. Thank you.
So real quick,
Okay.
what is your name and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Nima Moridi. I do real estate, both on the residential and commercial side. Commercial real estate is something that I've added to the offerings as of 2023. Born and raised in this area. I went to UC Berkeley for college and moved back down. So I like to consider myself fairly well traveled, but I've pretty much been living here my whole life.
All right, Nima, so what is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received applies to my business and my personal life as well. It's be comfortable in the uncomfortable. I feel like if you're not uncomfortable and you're not pushing yourself on a daily basis, you're clearly doing something wrong. In my industry, being self-employed, you have a lot of free time. You can, put that towards really revenue-generating activities, or just acting like you're working, but you're just hanging out at a coffee shop, let's say. So being uncomfortable, getting on the phones, chatting with prospects is something that I live by, and I do 5 times a week, I'd say. Yeah.
And what is the most uncomfortable way you've had to prospect for clients before?
Oh, man. I mean, I'd have to say it's cold calling and door knocking. I think people are usually nicer at the door because I joke around like, hey, I know where you live, But for the most part, that's probably the most uncomfortable I've become. Now, the way I tailor that is to deliver value to them. Instead of telling them what I do, I want to give them something of value to them. For example, in my neighborhood where I live, I like to drop off a market update and a YouTube video because I have my own YouTube channel, right? So they can see what's going on, how much homes are selling for, price per square foot if they want to geek out over the data. But then on the same time, I'll give out like a 49er calendar, which I did last week right before week 1. So it's something of value to them, And you think about the end consumer and what they want to see, not my ugly mug. They want to see something of value.
Always. I mean, that's why we're doing a podcast at this Business Expo, not just something else.
Right, yeah. And I got to say, you guys, your setup, everything looks great. I mean, everything looks very vibrant, and you've had a good group of people so far whom I've seen come by and chat with you guys.
Yeah.
So clearly you're doing something right, man. I like it.
I appreciate it. And Nima, last question, how can people find you?
Well, I'm at the Ninja Realtor on Instagram.
So, real quick, what are your names and what do you do?
So I'm Christine McVeigh, and I'm a project manager with Kitchell.
And my name's Chantry Crawford, and I'm in commercial and residential real estate development and sales.
All right, and so the question I have for you is, what is the biggest opportunity that's available right now?
Well, so we're looking at going maybe into business together, and we're looking at maybe doing sort of like some real estate down in San Diego, and possibly doing a wine business where we're doing charcuterie boards, and we're also, well, let you explain it a little better. I think Chantry's better.
Well, oddly enough, this seems to be a lot of doom and gloom in the headlines if you wanted to read about it and listen to it, but the ocular proof is people are looking to up their experiences, and they're looking for satisfaction, they're looking for something new and different, they're looking to be entertained, they're looking to be schmoozed and made them feel good and feel like they're exploring new and unique opportunities that aren't the run-of-the-mill opportunities that are out there now, or options, I should say. So we think if we created more of a customized, bespoke experience for people in the wineries throughout San Diego County's region, there's a lot of up and new coming ones, and we would create a turnkey experience, everything from the transportation to the food to the wine, the itinerary, the theme, anniversary. It's an engagement. Believe it or not, it could be a divorce. I've seen those parties and they're howlers. So so the opportunities are out there, and the growth is out there, and the new experiences that are ready to emerge that have yet to be discovered and aren't the same old are out there. So I think Chris and I would make amazing planners and executors and hosts of this concept, and I think there's a giant audience. And like she said, getting into real estate means we might have a tasting room or a hub, if you will, that every tour would start from and end from. Incorporate hot air ballooning if that's something they wanted. It's kind of endless. They want the whole sort of Napa Valley thing, but in Southern California. So
that's right.
It's something that we like, and they say if you do something you like, you'll never work another day in your life. We're going to test that theory.
So that's what we're thinking. It's a little bit, a little bit of a new thing for us, but we're both excited about it. We both like wine. We both like real estate, just like you, Josh. And so we're hoping that we can make this business plan happen.
What was your name?
My name is Jamila.
Jamila.
Yes.
Josh, nice to meet you. And thanks for joining me on the show.
So I do hair. I am in the beauty industry, so I do hair, braids, weaves, wigs. I also talk about fashion and natural hair care, and I just love everything fashion.
Okay. Well, don't find my wife, because she's like all into this hair care stuff right now, and she's like scrubbing her hair with, I don't even know what it is, but every night she's like doing something.
Like a turmeric scrub?
I don't know what it like. It's like this, and she's like there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, babe.
She's stimulating that growth.
That's what she's telling me. But anyways, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received is to go out on the limb and meet people. Network. You never know who you're going to meet. And so I am in the Entrepreneur Business Club, and my coach Terry is constantly preaching to us about putting ourselves in the rooms, because it's not always what you know, it's who you know. And so sometimes we think, oh, a tech event, why would you go there? Or a business mixer, you do hair, what are you going to learn from there? But you never know who you might meet, who you might introduce yourself to that can take you to another level or can introduce you to another side or a different business idea. So that is one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever received. And I'm trying to live by it.
Yeah, it is the one anything you never know, right? That one person could be the unlock for your business. The one TikTok you post could go viral, and all of a sudden you're...
It's just that one, like I came here today, and I actually ran into I was being introduced to someone who's also in the business of beauty, who I have been wanting to meet, and one of my clients walked up on me and just started raving about me, which was amazing. Like, who would have thought? I'm thinking, I'm not gonna know anybody, I'm gonna be quiet here. And came right out my shell, was able to network and talk to other people and possibly have a new client.
Well, congratulations. That's like the best feeling as an entrepreneur, that you can have someone to say, oh my God, she's amazing.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you. So lovely meeting you and nice talking to you.
Yeah.
And I love this.
For Real quick, what was your name and how can people find you?
Oh, dude, my name is Luis. You can find me online. I go by OnQ, that's ONKEW_1 on Instagram. You can check out The Real Keymakers. That's our product that we're launching in the next week or two. Soft launched in the last month, but it's been a really great product to showcase. So yeah, check out The Real Keymakers on Instagram.
How you leveled up the types of clients that you work for now?
Right now I was able to get to know the right people and then create those relationships, right? But I met my business partner on a cold call. Yeah, when we were cold calling in 2019, and I'm always a big believer of just putting yourself out there if you have something to offer, especially of value. And what I was able to do is take that call, and just give them that value. I knew that there was a gap in that market of being able to be of service in the staffing industry. So as soon as I picked up the phone, I dialed and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, this is what we do." And he was like, "Oh, I need that." I was like, "Yeah, for sure. Let's have a meeting." And it rolled out and it became something really cool, and it blossomed to something that I'm just grateful to be a part of right now. We were able to expand on the staffing industry, just on that one client alone. And then from there, he trusted me with so many other things that now it's become where we're going to do a documentary, and that's going to be done by like a really prestigious production company.
Yeah.
And then we have a nonprofit organization that we're opening up. A restaurant that's opening in about a month and a half from now, 2 blocks away. So like, again, it's one of those things that like, you just put yourself out there and then you're meeting the right people. It's
100%.
networking opportunities like this, man, that like you're just gonna wow somebody, and again, you kind of have that like ability to have a presence and be of value.
Lean into what your competitive advantage is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Well, hey man, thank you for jumping on. Real quick, what is your name and what do you do?
My name's Jose Badillo, and I am a CEO, president, owner, entrepreneur here in the Bay Area.
And what's your business?
I have a staffing agency in the hospitality business.
Wait, so are you his business partner? There we go. I just connected the dots right there.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, you guys are doing awesome things.
Thank you. Yeah. We're definitely, crushing it this year. It's been a great year.
Well, good. Well, then this question will be perfect.
All right.
All right. So, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received is, in order to succeed and to be successful, we need to spend a lot of time investing in our own self. Being able to educate ourselves, work on our mind, our body, not just our bank account. If we could work on our mind, on our body, on our education, and work on one's individual self, then we can go out and be successful and create the business that gives us a deeper purpose and passion. So the best advice is work on yourself first, and then go out into the world and crush the business.
And in all the self-improvement, education things that you've done for yourself, which one has been the most valuable to you?
I think working on your mindset. Working on the mindset.
So was it a course? Was it a book? Like, give me a recommendation. What are we gonna listen to next?
All right. Well, personally, since we're sharing it with the world here, for me personally, of course, my buddy over here knows. Tony Robbins was one of my big inspirations. He was, he comes from California, humble beginnings, similar to me, no dad, grew up with a tough mom, and his advice was really, no matter what your past is, no matter what your struggles are, no matter what the challenges are, what your bank account's like, if you can control your mindset and be able to really understand what we're capable of, not what we've struggled with, then we can overcome and really grow and continue to grow and evolve.
Thanks for jumping on the show.
Sure, thank you.
And real quick, what is your name and what do you do?
So my name is Ashima, and I'm a co-founder of a business which is called Psyoptic Studios, LLC, and we provide trial technology and legal services to trial attorneys in California and across the country.
Okay.
So we provide software and hardware services to trial lawyers to make things easier for them so they can focus on the trial and we help them enhance the trial in such a way that it helps them perhaps win the case.
Okay.
So that's what we do.
So the only thing I know about attorney life is what I've learned from Suits. How accurate is Suits?
So I'll tell you, I've been to the courthouse thrice in my life.
Okay.
Very recently, I went last week.
Okay.
It was beautiful. It was the most surreal experience I've had.
Okay.
It was in downtown San Jose. Beautiful courthouse. There's a judges. The setup is amazing.
Yeah.
It gave me chills. It's very professional. It is what you see in Suits. And
Okay.
even better because this is real. Like, that's the place where people get justice.
Yeah.
You know, so it resonated. Like, my heart was skipping a beat when I actually went in there.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can dress a little bit like them, but I don't know if I'll
Yeah.
ever, you know, hopefully I actually never have to be in a courtroom.
Yeah. But you know, people go to a courtroom for sometimes for fighting justice for themselves as well, right?
Of course.
So that's
So
yeah.
either way, whether
Yes.
someone has wronged you or you've wronged
Yes.
somebody else.
Yes.
Ideally, I don't want to end up there, though.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay, but my question I have for you is, what is the one problem that your team or your product solves for attorneys? Like, what's the biggest problem that they solve? Like, what's the big mistake, the big issue that you see, and you can solve it in, like, just apply this.
So we provide them 2D, 3D animations. You know, for example, if there's a personal injury case and the lawyer wants, you know, people like visuals, and
Yeah.
the jury is, they want is perhaps something which is more visually, more, you know, to simplify basically.
Yeah.
You know, so let's say there's an accident case. So you know, a 3D animator from our team can recreate a whole accident visualization, but it looks so close to reality that the jury at that moment, you know, they may in an instant realize, okay, this is exactly what happened. So you know, that's the sense of accuracy and the visual appeal that we give to a case by providing them that sophisticated software service to them. So that's one of the things that, and I feel like the more sophisticated and the more advanced the courtroom is for a trial attorney, the more technology visually appealing it is, the more stronger the case may be. But I also have to say the legal field is, you know, there are a lot of laws and there are a lot of situations where, you know, some things, technology is always progressive.
Yeah.
So we have to combine the tradition with the progressive aspect of the field.
Have you had an ad right now, or like, have you ever like ran an ad or a case study where you're now explaining a case of a car accident?
Yeah.
And you're saying, I was at this intersection, it's happening, as if you were the attorney.
Yeah.
And then now you implement your software
Yes.
that now also shows it with some sound design and your visuals.
Yeah.
Like, do you have an ad of that like running right now?
We don't have an ad running right now, but we are in the process of doing it. We just have to take, you know, internal approvals as well.
Yeah.
So, but we have placed ads because we also create. I'll give you an example. Like, you know, there's a spinal cord injury, so we also create like a 3D imaging.
Yeah.
So it looks really, again, it dissects the whole spinal cord.
Yeah.
And it gives a 3D visual. So we've been running ads.
Okay.
On Instagram, on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So that's already out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see how your product develops. What is your name and what do you do?
Perfect. My name's Nate Nunez, and I'm a real estate investor and wholesaler.
What's been your favorite deal favorite deal that you've ever done?
Favorite deal that I've ever done? It was a joint venture that I had. It was my very first deal. And I joint ventured with somebody that I met at through one of my mentorship programs. So it was really cool. It was my favorite deal because it was I got to really just learn from that whole experience with somebody that was really experience within the real estate industry.
Okay, but give me the numbers. I don't want the fluff. I want the numbers. Come on, man. I don't want the fluff. I don't want the mindset. Like, I want, we're cutting into it.
Right. Okay, so it was a single family house. Simple one. Yep. In Manteca.
Okay.
Right. It was a well, not getting to like this very specifics, but $250,000 purchase.
Okay.
Yep. The rehab was $50K.
Okay.
Sold it for $550.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. See, there you go.
Simple, without the
Okay,
absolutely.
and that's what kind of was that the one that sparked it? And you're like, oh man, I gotta go dive in on this now.
Absolutely. That was it. The proof of concept. I was like, okay, we really got to do it. Got to get into it, and we can do it, full time. We had that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love. Okay, and then the question that I have for you on our podcast here is, what's one skill or strategy that has the biggest impact on your success?
Yeah, I would say the biggest skill or strategy would be honestly just taking every opportunity to speak to someone else and network with people.
Yeah.
Because something, that has really helped me develop and, go, make the most progress in my journey is speaking and really making those connections. It's not always about, what you know, but who you know and who knows you. So one skill is always putting yourself out there and not being afraid to, make that connection and take every opportunity you have in order to, speak to the next person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me this cool story that I stopped you at.
Yeah.
And you've been going to a few of our meetups now. And one of the hard parts for me as we host these meetups is I don't get the chance to spend as much time with everyone that I want to. Mm-hmm. But you've had a really cool success story, though.
Yes.
And what is that?
Yeah, so at one of your meetups, actually, I met my actual business partners now that they do creative sub-2 deals.
Okay.
And it kind of complements with what I do on wholesaling. I bring in... we both bring in our networks together, and we do a lot of joint ventures together, bringing in private money lenders to their sub-2 deals. So it was really awesome meeting them, and then we also go to a lot of meetups together.
Love it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I this is the first time I've heard about that story, and you now have some partnerships and some deals in the work. So congratulations, man.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wonderful. All because of you. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
No, man. You host the party. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Is if anytime you can host the party, you never know who you can meet, what deals come from it, or whatever it is, and you can have a little bit of fun in between.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for jumping on the show, man.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you for having me.
My name's Josh, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Josh. Will, or Willie P.
Willie P, what do you do?
Yeah, so right now I'm a partnership coordinator for Psycho Donuts here in the Bay Area. I just started with them 2 months ago, and it has been an awesome and really, ironically, healthy experience for me after working fully remote during the pandemic.
Okay, and my question that I have for you is what one skill or strategy has been most impactful to your success?
Yeah, I mean, taking it from my job that I did remotely for 1.5 years, I would say always get referrals from whoever you're working with or anyone that you are getting in touch with. You never know who's 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from them or who they know who might be able to help you out. So at the end of the day, I always think that it's really important that if you're having a conversation with someone and you're clicking really well, maybe there's other people that they know that you could click just as well with. And it's all about, expanding your network, because my end of the day goal is to have a network that spans across the entire world.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Josh.